Taoist Magic Talk Show brought to you by Taoist Master Ji Sifu and King Dragon Taoism. ผู้亮天尊 Welcome back to the show. Hi everyone, this is your Ji Sifu right here, and today is another short episode on Taoist Magic. This time I am answering a very specific question or topic from one of our fans, which is talking about mirror in magic. So, I know a lot of different magic, like methods, sect, whatever you want to call them. They use mirror. For example, in Taoism, you see the Bagua mirror, right? The octagon thing. And we also have round mirrors, any kind of mirrors, right? But there's one thing that everyone kind of missed out. And I want to point that out, that you go out there and maybe like Amazon or a local store and you buy one of those mirrors, like what they call the Bagua mirror, right? Or whatever mirror that is labeled as for magical purpose, right? They don't work. Okay? Some people believe that you can use mirror for fungshui, right? So you like hang it on the door or put it at the window or something and facing outside and it'll work. I'm telling you here, it's not going to work. Okay? It's completely a BS. But it's not exactly a BS. What do I mean? Well, it works if you know what you're doing. It doesn't work just buying the mirror itself. Okay? The mirror itself is an ordinary mirror that is like no different from the mirror in your bathroom. It doesn't do anything magical, and there's nothing that it will do to magic, spiritual, energy, whatever stuff. It has nothing to do with that. Okay? So, what's so special about the magical mirror? Okay, let me tell you the concept first. Why was mirror used? Okay? So, let's say you are the one who connect to the God. Okay? Let's say you are the one, like you are like me. You can connect to the God and talk to the God. Okay? You're like a medium, right? Okay, let's say pretend now you are that person. You can talk to the God, but the God is not like a person in here, right? They are far away. They cannot see things here. So, how do they see something? Well, very simple. We get them a camera, buy a webcam, and then connect to www.god.com. And I mean, you get the idea, right? So, we need something like that for them to see what we want to show. So, there goes the invention of mirror in magic. A Bagua mirror is one form, but you can have many different kinds of mirror, okay? But anyway, the concept is the mirror is consecrated. That means what? Precisely, it means that the God agreed and connect and bond to this mirror. You have to do something to get that done. Okay, let's say you know how to do it already. So you did it, the God agreed, and so from now on, when you trigger the power on the mirror and shine the mirror somewhere, the God will see that stuff that you shine at. So it's like a lens, like a camera lens, right? So whatever that thing captures inside the mirror is whatever the God will see. Why do we want the God to see something? Well, there are different purposes, right? For example, I hang this mirror in front of my house outside. So it's like a security camera. I want my God to look at the front yard of my house. So if any bad guys coming or any evil spirit coming, I want my God to repel them away or kick their butt. Okay, sure. Then that's what it is, right? That's what it is. So in magic, we have to set the different powers into this mirror. A mirror usually has two sides, right? So you have the front and back. The back, we have something that connects this mirror to a source. For example, your God is like named God. So at the back, you would like do a symbol or something to connect to God. Okay, for example, I burn a food here, right? And it connects to the God. The other side of the mirror, which is the front of the mirror, will be what you want the God to do to whatever things that is being seen. So for example, protection, right? Then I burn a protection fruit at the front. So that means that God is going to channel, connect to the thing, and whatever it sees, right? It's going to shine its protection power on it, right? Like that. Now, you got to understand one thing. If you burn a protection food on the front, that means whatever the God sees, you want the God to protect, right? Okay. So you hang that mirror in front of your house, it's looking at whatever in front of the house. So it's protecting that area, right? It doesn't protect the back of the mirror because it's behind the lens, right? So if someone goes from your backyard and break in and your God missed him, well, too bad. You know, you didn't set up a camera there. So what to do? You set up a secondary mirror to shine at the back, right? You know, like surveillance camera. You put one here, one there, right? So simple, right? Okay. So let's say for fungshui, people put up mirrors. And you cannot just buy a mirror and use it. It doesn't work. There's no way to make it work. But if, let's say, you know the real deal, right? So you know in that direction there is some bad obstruction energies coming at your house. You can have a magical mirror like this, right? Consecrated with like a God, a specific God that will help you do that job, right? And then the other side is to dissolve the negative energy. Then you have a magical mirror. You put up this mirror, it will like let the God see that stuff, and whatever the God sees, he will dissolve those things for you. Simply said, just like that, right? Haha. Okay. So you understand why we have mirrors. It like a camera. And also with like, you let the God see, and what do you want the God to do with whatever he sees, right? And it's kind of like a portal that opens up for the God to deploy his power as well. Because when the God can see, the God can do stuff to that thing by distance. So it's kind of like a portal, right? So for the God to beam his power over. So that's very useful. Now, if you ask me, is there any like things like in the modern world right now that can replace mirror? I will say yes. Your phone, right? A camera is like DSLR camera or mirrorless camera, or maybe even any kind of camera, anything that can capture the image, right? So same idea. Anything you snap, you capture, it's like the God sees it, and then whatever you want the God to do, right? Then there goes the magic. Now, however, this is the key point. First, you need to have the connection to a God or gods, right? And secondly is you need to know how to consecrate that thing, and then the God have to agree with that purpose of the mirror. Then the magic will work. That's basically what mirror is about. So how come there are flat mirrors and concave and like the curve in and curve out kind of mirror, right? Why are those mirrors used? Well, different sects have different methods or theories, but in general, it's used as like a metaphor to communicate with your God. Now, imagine you are the God, and I consecrate the mirror to you. So whatever I shine that mirror at, you can see it, right? So I have a code with you, like a code, right? Like, you know, because of this type of mirror, then you will do these things. Okay, so if the mirror is curved in, okay, curved in mirror, right? If it's like that, then it means that I want you to absorb things away. For example, absorbing negative energy, absorbing bad stuff for me, right? Or it can be absorbing clients over, pulling in business, right? It can be like that too. It doesn't always have to do with like negatives. You can pull in customers, pull in wealth, right? It depends on what I want the God to do and what the God can agree to. If the mirror is curved out, then it's like the God is giving something like positive help, right? For example, giving more happiness to the place, giving more harmony to the place. It can be like that. And if the mirror is flat, that is neutral. Neutral is like I want the God to do something or change something, right? Or fight something, overpower something. For example, bouncing back the magic or sorcery done by someone, right? It can be like that. So it's not the mirror itself. It's more about the magic that is being put on the mirror, which can set what the mirror does. And well, if I cannot have a mirror that is curved, I don't have to. Like you can use a flat mirror and consecrate it to do something that the curved mirror does. Is fine, right? It's just a metaphor. It's just one of the many ways to communicate with your God. Some people will be saying like, oh, a curved out kind of mirror is for bouncing back things, right? Yeah, you can do that too, right? Why not? You can do that with a flat mirror too. I mean, it's just a code. It's just a way to talk to the God. And the key point is like, well, magic, right? Real magic, you need a real God. You don't have a God and you start to play around with tools. It's like you're playing with toys. It doesn't work. So yeah. The same thing goes to a lot of people who DIY magic. Like you buy a book and then you start to follow and, you try to do it yourself. I will tell you like 100% it's not going to work. Same idea, because you don't have that God above like that is giving you the power. So you don't belong to the God's family, right? The God is not providing you any power. Then all those stuff, no matter what you're using, it's just nothing. It's just an ordinary object. Same thing to those people who like play with crystals, stones, herbal leaves and whatever, right? Anything like that. It's same idea. You have no God behind you. Everything is just nothing but the ordinary object. It has no effect. So same thing goes to people who may be thinking about like, oh, what about like using sea salt? Okay, some people say you use sea salt can repel evils. And I'll tell you, yeah, of course, why not? I can use anything. I can use like, I can grab some sand from the ground and it can repel evil too. Because why? Because you put the magic power inside. You channel the God's power and put it into something, then it will do that job. If you don't have the God's power, I mean, like even you use gold, silver, it doesn't do anything. Seriously, it doesn't do anything, right? It's not the object that is magical. It's the God's power. And if you have no idea, well, then that means you need to start learning, really like learning the stuff from a real master. Well, if you don't have one, I'm here, right? Yeah, it's very different because once you start learning for real, for example, like if you learn under me, right? Our lineage. So you have this direct teaching. Like I teach you by talking to you and telling you things. Then you get to like ask questions and things like that. Then you realize like, wow, there's so much that is not out there in the public. And that's one of the things why I always tell people don't DIY your magic, don't DIY your altar, because like so many things out there are spreading out so like everywhere, especially those Westerner fungshui and Westerner Taoism is like a big virus, like people are spreading out while they don't know anything, and then they start spreading out a lot of crap that is like, oh my God. DIY magic. Oh, there's like a few authors out there that I don't know if they're like actually Chinese, but they have been releasing a lot of books teaching people how to DIY the magic. That's a disaster. And you know why? It's not about just not working. It's more like you start doing that stuff, right? It doesn't work. That's fine, right? You're just playing. But what's even worse is that there are spiritual beings out there that is going around looking for people like these who like self DIY your own magic kind of thing. You are actually putting your heart energy into those objects because you're believing it. It doesn't work, but you believe it, right? So your faith, your heart energy is being invested into the stuff. And while you do that, you have no idea. These evil things, evil beings, they're like other dimensions beings that they go around and loot you. They go around and look for people like you and loot your energy away. And it's going to cause a lot of problem in the long run, making you like go crazy. It's not crazy like, oh, I'm going to like jump around and then, dig myself into the ground, whatever. You're not like that kind of crazy, but it could make you crazy as in like you will be stuck with some weird theory that you think the world work like that and so on, and it doesn't. And then you keep drilling yourself into this weird logic, weird pattern, and everything is like your own illusion. And soon, you know what? You start to see illusion as well. And those illusion will trick you and get you, like trap you into a lot of very stubborn mindset, which is like, even someone knowledgeable try to teach you, you will not believe them, and you will want to stick with what you feel like you believe. And those things are all your own heart devils. It's like your own creation. It's very scary. And I have seen people like that, like a lot of people like that. And these are all like what I call New Ager. They might not say that they are New Ager. They might say, oh, I just believe in whatever old religion. But it's not. They are like self-brewing. They're not going the traditional way. They are self-teaching, self-taught, or maybe creating their own thing by like mixing up stuff, and it's a disaster. So don't do that, right? If you want to learn magic and you don't have a way to go, this is like the chance. You can go to our website. There's a free initiation, right? So if you're not ready for the ordained, you can go for the free path first and learn a bit. You get to at least like taste what the real thing is like, right? And you get to decide later. But the thing is, magic is not for you to DIY. It works only because there's a real God, real source of power behind. And if you're not a part of that family, then there's nothing for you to do. So yeah, don't mess around, guys. And yeah, again, those so-called Taoism, Taoist magic books online, they are horrible. They are so dangerous, and people don't even realize that they are actually like a virus spreading out those things. So everyone, beware. Warn your friends. Don't fall into those traps. And again, if you have any question, anything you want to know, you can always comment and let me know, and I'll use that as one of my topic and answer your question. So anyway, see you next episode. Bye bye.